Camden Garden all season long, and today 15,320 fans are going to have to postpone Mother's Day dinner a few hours for good reason. And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 12th renewal of a playoff rivalry that has reached legendary proportions. Boston against Philadelphia, and the crowd is on its feet as the Celtics are about to be introduced. Here is what the series means to these teams. The Celtics, as you know, trying to become the first team to win back-to-back titles in 14 years. They were the last team to do it. Philadelphia, in the last 5 years, has been the winningest team in the NBA, but they have not won a world championship, and that is the only thing that would satisfy their fans. There are no secrets in this series. Let me tell you this, no surprises. The teams know each other's plays as well as they know their own plays. It'll be execution with some extraordinary players. And a man, of course, who has played a principal role in this legendary history of Boston and Philadelphia is my partner, Bill Russell. What does it mean?
You know, it's a funny thing, but this series this gets so exciting because when we first started, we knew we had to beat the Sixers or the Philadelphia team to get to the championship. And they were always there, and they were always the team you had to beat. And so it got so that if they missed out, you felt disappointed because you needed to beat them to feel like you'd accomplished something. And one thing that's good about a series like this is that both these teams need a series like this because in order to get out of this series, to win it, you're going to have to play some first-class basketball. And that's what it takes to be a champion, to play first-class basketball under these conditions. And both these teams are up to it.
All right, what more can we say? The drama will unfold in the last 3 years. These teams have played 30 games, and they've split 15 and 15. They are really even. And right now, we're going to bring you a great basketball series. Join us.
The NBA on CBS. Today's playoff game is sponsored by Mazda and Mazda Quality Products. Light beer from Miller, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Firestone, makers of the new Firestone 721 Metrics radio, the tire redesigned.
And the starting lineups for this afternoon's game. Game 1, best of 7 Eastern Finals. At forward, for Philadelphia, number 6, Julius Erving. For Boston, number 31, Cedric Maxwell. The other forward, number 11, Caldwell Jones. For the Sixers, number 33, Larry Bird for Boston. Center, number 53, Darryl Dawkins. And 00, Robert Parrish. At guard, number 22, Andrew Toney. And number 30, M.L. Carr for Boston. And the point guard, number 10, Maurice Cheeks for Philadelphia. And number 7, Nate Tiny Archibald for Boston. And we're ready to start another one. This is the 12th series. They have played 3 in a row. Philadelphia, 2 years ago, won in 5. Lost to L.A. in the championship round in 6. Last year, the Celtics came from 3-1 back, as you saw at the start, won this series, and then won the world title. And we're underway. Philadelphia will have possession. Andrew Toney, number 22, who is the top scorer in the league coming off the bench and starting in place of the injured Lionel Hollins. Maurice Cheeks had a marvelous series against Milwaukee, guarded by Tiny Archibald. M.L. Carr is on Toney, and Cheeks puts it up. 2-0 Philadelphia. Boston relentless on the offensive boards. Philadelphia will have to stop them there. And also, the Celtics will have to avoid turnovers, which could result in Philadelphia fast breaks.
Yeah, Philadelphia is one of the teams that most of their fast breaks come from playing good defense. When you make a mistake or a turnover, and they don't get most of theirs from missed shots or defensive rebounds like a lot of the other good teams do. So one thing that Boston has to do to counter the Philadelphia fast break is to be careful with the basketball.
The Celtics come at you at waves up front. They bring in Roby, they bring in McHale, they pound the boards, and a tremendous physical team. Tiny Archibald sitting outside. Billy Cunningham will want him to do that all game. Better than penetrating. Andrew Toney controlling outside. Expect more half-court basketball than you'd expect. Dawkins goes inside against Parrish. Went to the baseline. M.L. Carr, turn around against Toney, banks it in, winds up on his back, no foul, and Boston scores. M.L. Carr, who missed half of last year and was also out the first 28 games of this season. You see Philadelphia setting up every time the same way on the right side. Julius Erving. gets low. Right now he's not doubled. Maxwell is all over Mo Cheek. And Julius banks it in. One of the guys
almost as an afterthought
who can help you. If he's not scoring, he'll beat you other ways. Rebounding, passing. He is the charismatic player on this Philadelphia team. And a foul. The first foul of the game. It's against Julius Erving. The referees in the ball game, Ed Rush and Hugh Evans, are the officials, with Joe Crawford, the alternate. Erving's fouled his first.
Now you notice that both these teams are going inside when they can, but you notice they're both playing half court. And the reason for this, both these are fast break teams, but both coaches want to counter and stop the other team from running. And there are several ways you do that. You pound the offensive boards, you execute your plays well, you make sure that you run plays that get their guards down the baseline, and most of all, you get some guys back on defense.
Caldwell tried to tip it up, and we'll have a loose ball foul called against Philadelphia as Caldwell Jones hits the deck, and Caldwell Jones commits the foul. It is his first personal. So the score is 6-4. Dawkins, Cheeks, and Erving have the baskets for Philadelphia, and Maxwell and Carr for Boston. Best of 7 series, game 2 Wednesday night. Next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, will be in Philadelphia for 3 and 4. Good defense. Tony on Carr, but there's the offensive rebounding inside, and Robert Parrish has his first point.
Now both teams are offensive rebounding quite well so far, but the coach is going to yell at the defense about that. I can tell you that the first time out. This is the first thing the coach is going to say. You got to keep those guys off the boards. Screen out first and then go for the rebound.
Dawkins going outside, missing. Erving tries to keep it alive, and Maxwell comes down with the rebound.
And one of the key matches of defenses will be how good a job Erving is going to do on Maxwell.
Erving on Maxwell, and of course, you remember last year, Caldwell Jones was burned in the first 2 games by that man, Larry Bird, and then Billy Cunningham, in a big move, put Julius Erving on him the rest of the series, and Erving had to devote most of his time to defense and really wasn't an offensive factor. Tony fires it up. Bird the rebound. Look for the quick pass and the fast break. Maxwell. And an offensive foul called against Cedric Maxwell, his first. And you see how Boston likes to break. They release the men outside in a hurry and like to go with the long pass.
And you will find that both these teams will have guys back on defense.
There's Bill Fitch, who's the first coach since Larry Costello to lead his team to 3 straight 60 or more victory campaigns. Dawkins picked up fouls early, foul trouble throughout the Milwaukee series. He has been a puzzle, no question about it. Tony gets a step in on Carr and is fouled as Bird comes over to help out.
Now they double team on Tony because when he starts his move, he does not pass the ball off very often or very well.
Foul is on Emil Carr, his first personal foul.
I'm sorry, Dick. But he can pass it off, but most times he's thinking shoot. And so it's reasonably safe to double team a guy like that.
Andrew Tony has had great success against Boston, averaging over 25 points a game this year against the Celtics. Bill Cunningham, who has been tremendous. He was on the bench with a broken wrist in 1968 when the Celtics came back 3-1 to win a series. Harris, Bird.
Now, what caused that was when Parrish penetrated, the defense naturally thinks help, whether they do or not, and then the tendency is not, especially with penetration, the tendency is not to screen out.
Caldwell Jones saves it to Andrew Tony. Philadelphia has a new clock to work with, under 8 minutes remaining, first period, and the Celtics leading 10-7. Dawkins inside. Fires it up wildly, and Bird coming out of the pack. To Parrish. Tony is on Parrish. He needs help. Dawkins comes over to help, but Parrish fakes him. And we'll have a loose ball foul on Caldwell Jones on Philadelphia, his second foul.
And I think they're going to have a little contact under the boards. Now here's the hustle. When Caldwell Jones knocks it out and saves it right there.
But he committed the foul at the other end, and Bobby Jones is in quickly. And look for Bobby Jones to guard Larry Bird. You'll see a lot of people on Bird, including Mike Banham off the bench. Parrish goes inside and is held. And Philadelphia has their 14th foul called right here with 7:22 to go in the first period.
And at this point, one thing that Boston is being able to do so far is to penetrate. Now, defensively, you should not let a team penetrate as easy as Boston penetration because you cause so many problems for the other guys. That's who gets the fouls, not the guy that's guarding the guy that's making the penetration, as the other guy's helping out.
Bobby Jones committed that foul, his first. Carr working in against Tony, and Tony knocks the ball away. 8 seconds on the clock, and Carr fires it in from the corner. Billy Cunningham has led Philadelphia to playoff years. Every year he's been at the helm, and for the Sixers, it's 7 years in a row. Boston with the biggest lead now, 5 points. Under 7 minutes to play, first period. Bird reaches in and commits the foul on Bobby Jones, and that's the second team foul on Boston.
Both these teams are playing a good defense, and what they're trying to do is deny the ball so that they don't get a chance to play up and run it to the rhythm they want to run it.
Season series went to Boston 4-2, but 2 of those games went to overtime.
So while everyone else was redesigning the car, Firestone's George Peabody was redesigning the tire. Your latest 721, George. This metrics is perfect for today's fuel-efficient cars, American and import. Our senior VP, impressive handling, George. Head of sales.
That all-season traction?
Big Firestone dealer.
Great work, Mr. Peabody.
Who's that, George?
The head waiter.
Firestone 721 metrics, the tire redesigned.
Deacon's my name, and bowling's my game.
Gutter ball, gutter ball.
How are you going to score there?
Come on, 3 strikes and you're out.
We just won another round of light beer from Miller.
Yeah, light sure tastes great.
Wait a minute. There it is, down there. Take your time.
8-ball in the pocket.
Bubba, this ball doesn't have any holes in it. Yeah, it does.
The score's all even.
Glass frame. Who's that?
Rodney.
Rodney! Gotta be a mistake. Hey, you kids, it's a piece of cake.
All we need is 1 pin, Rodney.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
We didn't get my turn yet. I'm going to break this tie.
They say it's only a game, but you won't believe it if you're in Boston or Philadelphia as you look at the cartoon in the Boston Sunday Globe. Please lock the door as you leave. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. That's just about that. The Celtics have outscored the Sixers 10-1 since Philadelphia had that early 6-2 lead. Interesting, Bill, there have been no fast break points in the game as of yet.
Well, that's one thing that both these coaches have just drilled their players on, how to stop the fast break, because both these teams have devastating fast breaks, and you let them get a couple, and everything starts to work. And then if their fast break is working, their outside shooting also works.
Tiny Archibald has a pad on his right elbow, and he had an injured shoulder when Rick Mahorn really gave him quite a hit in Game 5 of the playoff. The Celtics really had a grueling series, even though they won 4-1 against the Bullets. That was a punishing series. Julius gets in and draws the foul. Familiar Philadelphia play.
And a familiar crowd he drew.
Foul is on Robert Parrish, his first, and that is the 13th foul on Boston. There's Tiny Archibald, who has been...
That's on his right elbow, Dick. He's left-handed. Doesn't make any difference. He doesn't do anything right-handed except go to the hoop and shoot. And pass with it. Other than that, he doesn't do anything with it. Now, what's interesting is, during the playoffs, do you play the teams enough? They know all your plays. It's movies and tapes and everything. They know your play. And when you call a play, I'll never forget once we were in a playoff game and we had to play a rookie. And they called a play and he was standing there and the guy was guarding says, well, you go over here.
He knew the other team's play. That's the kind of rivalry they have here, and that's how familiar they are. They double-team Parrish, and Tiny Archibald left open and hit. They're going to gamble that Tiny will not burn them too often. They would rather double on Parrish, and the man who will double will be a guard. They need the forward for the defensive rebounding. Here's Julius in a lane. Finds an open man. Maurice Cheek. Short. Bobby Jones, offensive rebound. Cheek started to come in. Thought better of it.
He had bad rotation on that last shot, Cheek did.
Bounce into Caldwell Jones, or I'm sorry, Dawkins. And Darryl Dawkins, using his body well, has his second basket. He has not picked up a foul. We have 5:53 to go in the first period, and it's a 3-point Boston lead.
You know, one interesting thing, you can talk to other coaches in the NBA, and they'll tell you that if Daryl Dawkins is playing well, nobody can beat the Philadelphia team.
ML Carr hits from outside. 3 of 4 from the field for ML Carr, who's averaging 7.4 in the playoffs, a point below what he has scored on the season. But he had a big game against the Bullets in Game 1 when he had 21. Julius Erving outside. He was off against the Bucks outside, but he seems to be on his offensive game so far.
You know, earlier he said they're going to leave China Archibald and let him see if he can make the outside shot. He was the guy that led the league in scoring one year. He can make that outside shot.
Yes, he can.
Consistently.
Because he's changed his game. Of course, you said he wants to win more than be up there in assists, which he was fourth this year, and in scoring. Parrish is 1 for 5 from the field, and he's a pretty good outside shooter. Cheeks and Tiny. Julius, turnaround over Maxwell. Not that time. Bobby Jones with his second offensive rebound. And Darryl Dawkins tried something fancy inside and lost the ball.
Well, that wasn't exactly fancy because Robert Parrish had that shot blocked if he'd taken it to the normal shot.
He's short this time. Bird, the offensive rebound, came right down to him. And Larry Bird has his 6th point of the ball game. He was the leading scorer, 10th in the league this year, averaging 22-9.
Now, that rebound came right down to him, but it was because he was right there where the ball went. And that's good position because he knew where that ball was going.
That's right. You know, you can think, well, he was in the right place at the right time, but actually he should have been boxed down. Julius Erving calls for a timeout. He has called for his second personal foul, and rarely do you see the doc argue, but that's what he's doing with Ed Rush, and Billy wants him to get away before a technical, and it's too late. Technical foul has been called, either on Julius or Billy.
Probably on Billy Cunningham for being out on the court.
Cunningham gets a technical foul, and Julius Erving has his second personal and a timeout. 4:32 remaining in the first period. The biggest lead for either club has been 5, and the Celtics have it right now.
It's hard to believe the Mazda B2000 Sundowner is the lowest priced truck sold in America. Only $58.95. And it comes with over a dozen standard features Toyota and Datsun don't even offer on their economy trucks, including a 5-speed and steel belted radials. And Mazda B2000 Sundowner even gets better gas mileage. Sakes alive, it's a lot of truck for just $58.95.
Only Mazda's car and truck for just $58.95.
I've been comparing the exciting new Intellivision space game Star Strike with one of the most popular Atari games, Asteroid. Star Strike has moving images that make the game appear three-dimensional. Asteroids doesn't. And Star Strike features our most exciting visual effect, total destruction of a planet. This is what the other game offers, which is why, after Star Strike, Asteroids left me rather flat. Star Strike, new for Intellivision from Mattel Electronics.
Its designation, Minolta Program System X700. It is computerized automation or total creativity. If you choose, you set nothing, even with flash. It is unmanned 35mm photography where camera is robot. It is quartz calendar dating that records your life and travels. The Program System X700, only from the mind of the Lord.
Sunday, it's a CBS special movie presentation. Ted Knight, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, and Rodney Dangerfield are the snobs versus the slobs in Caddyshack.
The technical was on Cunningham, but this is a rare sight in the NBA, Russ.
Julius Erving, you know, when you hear him arguing with the referee about a call, it's almost like Ted Williams arguing with an umpire about a strike. You know that he has a good point to make, because he doesn't waste his energy arguing with referees unless he feels that he's really been wrong. And I don't mean just wronged a little bit.
Cunningham came on the court. Irving has 2 personals, and Larry Bird, who was 5th in free throw shooting at 86% in the NBA this year, makes the technical. In the playoffs, he's 95%. As Bird has hit 18 of 19 from the line before that one. Now make it 19 to 20. Boston ball, 4:32 to go in the first, and a 6-point lead, biggest lead of the game. Julius Erving looking for a world championship ring, but he's been part of 2 Philadelphia playoff victories. Good pick and roll, Parrish, and Julius Erving helped out on defense and got a piece of it. Great defensive play by Julius Erving as Andrew Toney hits on the run. Erving, great D inside.
Yeah, blocked that shot, and that's the kind of thing that fills up your scores on usually. A broken offensive play, a block shot, or a steal. And they really break on those better than any team in basketball.
And Boston executed the pick and roll perfectly, and Philadelphia equal to the task. Erving on top of Max. Max trying to take him inside, and he does. He is the quiet man, Cedric Maxwell, really the blue-collar player on a team that likes to really work hard inside and pound away. Not a pretty team.
You know, he was MVP in the playoffs last year for the Celtics. Maxwell.
Cheeks coming around, passing to Jones. Jones didn't have good footing, and he misses the shot from the baseline. I wonder if the footing is a little slippery. I've seen several players slip so far.
No, that's just nerves.
Carr going inside, and Erving steals it again on the pass intended for Maxwell. So Julius all over both ends of the court. Andrew Toney hit his last shot. And goes in and is fouled, and that'll be the 14th foul on Boston. Both teams have 4 personal 14 fouls.
Here's the play. Robert Parrish goes inside. No, this is the one with Maxwell stealing the ball right there. Now here's the one on Robert Parrish when he goes up, and there's Julius right there. Blocked the shot. Bobby Jones comes with the ball, and the fast break is off and running.
Second personal foul on Carr. Each team with 4 team fouls with 3:10 remaining. And Andrew Toney shooting. Toney had 31 points in Game 2 of the Milwaukee series. He's explosive. He had 35 against the Celtics in the playoffs last year. Out of Southwest Louisiana, Andrew Toney hits the free throw. He plays well against Boston. Bill Fitch played his ball at Cole College in Iowa.
He plays well against a lot of teams. I'm talking about Andrew Toney.
4-point lead for the Celtics. Parrish makes it 6 again. Robert Parrish has 4, as all 5 Celtic starters have scored in the game, with Bird leading with 7. Cheeks takes Tiny with Jones setting a screen. Mike Bantam is in the ball game, number 42. And Toney fires and hits again. He looks like he's on the money outside in this ball game. Let's see who's going to be guarding Larry Bird. It'll be Mike Bantam, who has had success in the past against Bird. So 42 Bantam, acquired from Indiana in January. He's watching Larry Bird. Parrish is held, and Darryl Dawkins commits his first personal foul. And it comes with 2:26 to go in the first. Here's Clint Richardson, who has really been a savior for Philadelphia. Forrest is the third guard with Hollins out. Richardson has shown he can go inside with the big boys and rebound. He had 10 in one game and 7 in Game 6.
And he plays excellent defense.
Yeah, from Seattle in his third year. Parrish is shooting. That's the 15th foul on Philadelphia. And Robert shoots one in the penalty. Makes the first. Six-point lead again. So Clint Richardson is in. Andrew Toney misses, and Parrish clears. He just went right up over Dawkins and cleared the ball. Clint Richardson is guarding Tiny Archibald, and a steal. Turnover, and they go right back the other way. And it's a 3-on-2. Tiny did not get a good pass back from Bird, but he draws the foul anyway. So they ad-libbed that one nicely.
And what happened on that play, the mistake was Mike Bantam, when he tried to get the fast break going, he jumped up in the air to pass.
First foul on Toney.
And then the Celtics reacted defensively. Now here's the steal inside, knocks it loose there. Now here's the pass. He jumps up to pass, and then no one breaks clear. And then so he had to pass, and Tiny got to the passing lane and got away with it.
In the ball game, coming back as Caldwell Jones replaces Dawkins. So Dawkins goes out with only one personal foul. And Caldwell Jones comes back and will play the center position with Mike Bantam and Bobby Jones the forward.
Now this is a quick Philadelphia team.
Tiny misses the free throw.
And that helps him defensively. More than offensively, this team because it's so quick.
Biggest lead 7 right now. Jones so quick. Larry Bird got beaten to the hoop and tipped in by Mike Bantam. There's Mike Bantam from St. Joseph's of Philadelphia. Said it was like coming home again when he came to the Sixers. Played his college ball in Philadelphia. Archibald, off the mark. Caldwell Jones saves it from Clint Richardson. Here's a break. 3-on-3. Tony, Bantam, and a reverse layup forces a foul. It's on Robert Parrish.
Now, that was a good move. He could have passed the ball off, but that was a better move than to pass it off because he might have intercepted the pass, but you're sure to get a basket or a foul on that kind of play.
Second personal as Bill Fitch says, calm down, check the board, don't get into a running game. And Robert Parrish, the man they called a cheat, has his second personal, and both teams now in the penalty. One thing the Sixers didn't have last year in this series was a fellow like Mike Bantam who can come off the bench, play the good defense, hit the offensive glass, and get some points when you need it.
And most of all, experienced players who will not make the mistakes that hurt you down the stretch, that know how to play under pressure.
There you're looking at the offensive rebounding story. Pretty close so far. 1 of 2 for Bantam, and a 4-point Boston lead with 1:18 to go. First period. Bird behind his back dribble. Fancy gets go. Maxwell is there. And there's another basket and a foul. And that is what the Celtics do the best. Their trademark, hitting the offensive board, and they power when it goes.
Now here's the play that some move by Bird. He reversed the dribble there. And he got past Bantam, but Bobby Jones reacted, and that's why Maxwell was able to get the rebound because Bobby Jones had to switch up to help out. And this is what happened with both these teams. When they get penetration, the guy that's left with the help, he goes to the offensive board.
Dawkins getting set to come back in the ball game. Caldwell Jones has 3 personal fouls now. That's a bit unexpected. Tony puts a step, and it goes off of Caldwell Jones' hands, and Clint Richardson can't do it. Caldwell Jones fails on the tip-in. Tony had a good step on Bird, but he couldn't do it. He couldn't make the point. Bird outside, his first outside shot, and there's Parrish. Caldwell Jones gave Parrish all he could handle, even though it's still Boston ball. And Darryl Dawkins comes back into the ball game, and Caldwell Jones, who the Sixers must rely on for the defensive rebounds. He is their top defensive rebounder, goes out with 3 fouls.
And he relieves the pressure because of a good outside shooter.
40 seconds remaining, first period. 19 on the shot clock. Carr loops it in. Parrish, baseline. Maxwell tried to tip it in and shoved Tony, and the foul is against Maxwell. Maxwell's second personal foul, and got into a little pushing match with Andrews.
And they caught the second one. The referees always get the second one. You push a guy, he pushes you back, always. So if a guy pushes you and gets away with it, it's better to just let him have that one, and next time, be ready and you push first.
Doesn't that happen to Dawkins a lot?
Quite a bit.
Andrew Toney on the line, shooting 1 in the penalty. 28-22. The Celtics' biggest lead has been 7 points. Philadelphia's lead was 6-2 early, and then the Celtics outscored them 10-1. And right now, Philadelphia's leading scorer, Toney, has 9 points. He is the game's high scorer. You look at the clock. First period action. This is just sparring in the opening period of what should be a marvelous series. It always has been. Bird against Bantam. Shuffles it to Parrish. What do? Fill the lane beautifully.
Penetration, again. Whenever you get penetration and guys help out, both these teams will make you pay for it.
That's the time remaining in the period. Tony outside, double team, finds Jones into Bantam, and Parrish blocks the shot at the buzzer, and the Celtics fans are on their feet. They like what they see. And after 1 period of play at Boston Garden, the Celtics 30, Sixers 24.
I didn't know that. I'm absolutely shocked.
I'm surprised because I've always thought that Michelin were the top tires.
These Michelin owners have heard the big news about the Uniroyal Steeler. On a prescribed test course, Uniroyal rates its Steeler to deliver at least 20% more mileage than Michelin's ratings. At least 20% more mileage with Steelers. That's the big surprise.
I might buy him. In fact, I will buy him.
The Uniroyal Steeler. We give you more to go on.
I'm surprised, I really am.
Made any auto insurance claims lately?
Oh, that's bad news.
With a piece of the rock.
Hello, Prudential.
Our survey shows that even after a claim, people claim we're good.
I'm covered? Oh, thank Prudential.
For auto insurance,
Get a piece of the rock.
Prudential Insurance. Even after a claim, people claim we're good.
You got hit with the bad news, huh?
A good pass to Whitney, a 16-footer. Magic comes away limping badly. He's hurt now.
I thought it was all over. But with training and help, I got the chance to come back. Some people need training and help just to play the game. I volunteered to coach Special Olympics and give them the kind of help they need. But Special Olympics needs more coaches. Beautiful. They can't do it with just magic. It takes you, too.
Furnished as a public service by the National Basketball Association.
Philadelphia, Boston, 1-2 and block shots. Parrish, McHale, and ninth in the league is Caldwell Jones, and Julius Erving is 10th. But Parrish had the big block shot at the end of the period.
Right, here's Mike Banham. There's a shot. And that's kind of what happens with those kind of things is not so much that it stops the basket, which is important, but it makes the guys have to think the next time they're there. Here's another angle of the same play right there.
Start of the second period, Dick Stockton and Bill Russell at Boston Garden. Philadelphia shot 32% in the first period. Robert Parrish, 8 points, the leading Boston scorer, and Andrew Toney leads the Sixers with 9. Boston was under 50%. Kevin McHale, number 32, comes into the ball game, and he made the big plays against the Bullets in that semifinal series. There you see Kevin McHale in his second year from Minnesota. Block shot. Leader. They like to run Carr low. Clint Richardson likes to play inside, but there's a favorite play to run Carr low and Bird outside. Biggest lead of the ball game right now. 8 points for the Celtics. Toney outside. Philadelphia cold shooting right now. Dawkins with 7 seconds on the shot clock over Parrish. McHale the rebound. Banham might have gotten hit in the face. And Larry Bird. McHale the offensive rebound. Keeps it alive to Bird outside. McHale posting Banham low. Double team with Clint Richardson. A lot of time on the shot clock. Carr will fire it up. And we will have a loose ball foul inside. That's Hutch McHale on the board.
He's in a position there. He's got good position. Holding it. Little push off. Let me go. And here is the other end. On the offensive end. That was the defensive end. Now here is the offensive end. Give Clint a pretty good shot there. He's inside there.
Back to live action. McHale goes up and is fouled. Mike Banham committed the last foul for Philadelphia. It was their first team foul, and this one is on Clint Richardson, number 1 on the third-year player from Seattle. And now Kevin McHale will go to the line. McHale started when Larry Bird was out. Bird was out for 5 games with a fractured cheekbone against Milwaukee, and then Coach Fitch decided to keep Bird coming off the bench, giving him the outside shot. And when he had McHale starting it forward and a backcourt tandem of Carr and Henderson, he had a pretty good defensive unit in there.
That's when they went on that chair and won 18 straight.
1 of 2 for McHale. Boston by 9. Inching up again to their biggest lead. Banham to Bobby Jones. Bird guarding him. And Dawkins has it blocked by Parrish. And we'll have a Boston foul inside. But give Parrish another block shot.
And Mike Banham another offensive rebound.
McHale commits the foul, his first. And it is the first team foul on the Celtics with less than 2 minutes going by in the second period.
You know, it's really funny. These teams have played each other enough so they know everything the other guy's going to do.
Everything.
And they still have to do it.
Banham had 16 points in the first game of the Milwaukee series and 12 in the clincher Friday night with 6 for 8 shooting from the field. He misses both free throws, and Bobby Jones saves it. Banham wide open. Does the right thing, goes inside, and can't get it going. So Banham misses the free throws, and the shot in close.
And he was intimidated by Robert Parrish in that last shot, because that's not the shot he wanted to take.
Julius coming back in. Sixers won Irving, who had 6 points in the first quarter. Carr looking for McHale low against Bobby Jones. And Dawkins gets it out to Cheeks. This is what Philadelphia wants. It's 3-on-3. And Tiny Archibald. Foul. Foul on Tiny with Cheeks going right by him. First on Tiny.
Now that referee had to really be moving himself to keep up with that play, and he managed it because that was a good call.
Rick Roby will come into the ball game when we come back after a timeout. Roby, after really being on the bench most of the second half of the year, came on toward the end of the campaign and saw considerable action against Washington, and he can do a lot of good things. So 10:07 remaining in the second period. Boston is up by 9.
"17 hours. That's how long it took us to paint this house with a brush. Then we painted it in just 6.5 hours with the Wagner Power Paint. His wicker chair took over an hour, but less than 5 minutes with a Wagner Power Paint. A shutter that took 20 minutes, a power painter finished in only 3. It's a tool so versatile, it has a flexible spray tip and a way to draw paint right from a can. A Wagner Power Painter. It's the right tool for painting.
When you're a big guy like me, people always want to see just how strong you are. So after this arm works, this arm always relaxes with light beer from Miller. The light's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer, and it tastes great. What I like about it, it's less filling. When you're in a hot match like this, you can't afford to get filled up.
You have any time?
Yeah. About 8:30.
Yeah, thanks.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
Next.
What's a Mazda GLC doing here in Germany, home of some very refined economy cars? Making a point about outstanding value. Because while the front-wheel drive GLC is also sophisticated and offers the performance, mileage, and versatility you should expect, it offers it all at a price you don't expect. The more you look at some of the finest economy cars in the world, the more you like the 1982 Mazda GLC.
Monday.
You've been jumping around in somebody else's bed?
You've done what I did many times.
Elizabeth Montgomery and Elliot Gould make and break the rules of marriage.
The overriding story perhaps on the year, the Celtics, the last team to repeat. Bill Russell was the coach of the Celtics' twin victories. That was 14 years ago. And Julius Erving, who really transformed the Philadelphia franchise when he went from the Nets to the Sixers, would like nothing more than a championship ring. And he really has, in 6 years, has been an all-star and the leading scorer on this ball club. And when he demonstrated again in the Milwaukee series, when he doesn't have a shooting eye, he can pass, he can rebound, and do it for you. Such a charismatic player. And as we told you, Roby is in the ball game for Boston. Clint Richardson controlling outside. Gerald Henderson, number 43, who started many games at guard for the Celtics when Tiny Archibald was hurt, is in there now. Tiny is with Henderson, and Bird steals the ball from Cheek. Leading pass to Henderson, and Dawkins held him. Dawkins held Gerald Henderson.
Now here's that long pass. There's Bird's guarding Jewish. Now Jewish got good inside position there, and that's why there's a good defense. Now watch, he takes a look up, he looks up, now he sees it, and that's when he makes that long pass. He's one of the best in the league in making that long pass.
McHale double team, Tiny Archibald, short, Bird keeps it going. Steal, Phantom. There have been only 4 fast break points, 2 on each side, until this. Julius Erving.
I don't think he's going to block that one.
That is only the 6th fast break point in the ball game on 2 teams that like to run. Philadelphia is shooting just about 30% from the field so far. Julius was one of the brilliant plays. Roby against Dawkins. Basket counts and a foul on Dawkins, and that'll be 3 personals on number 53.
Now there's a problem developing for Philadelphia because Caldwell Jones, unusual as it is, has 3 fouls. And now they have 3 fouls on both their big men. And that could be a problem because Boston has some good inside play. Now here's a fast break. Now Julius says, you know, he sees Kevin McHale coming up from the weak side over there, trying to block it, and not today.
3-point play by Rick Roby, and the Celtics have a 10-point lead, biggest lead of the ball game. Winding down to 9:09, 9:05, 3 minutes gone by, second period. Another turnover, and Bird comes up with the ball.
A couple times that the Sixers have thrown the ball away when they had a man open. And that's one of the times I advocate using the bounce pass. Because if the only way you get it is to kick it, then you get the ball back at least.
Roby trying to post Dawkins, who has 3 personal fouls. And Roby gets the basket. Rick Roby is a bull, and he can hurt you inside. He has hit 10 of 18 from the field coming into this ball game. As we told you already, he's come on late in the season.
And Dawkins is not one of the best players playing with 3 fouls.
Diggs goes all the way in, blocked by Larry Bird, and a Boston fast break. And Tiny Archibald went without the ball, and it dribbled it off his foot.
It was actually off of Julius Irving's foot, but I think the referee missed it.
Coming in the ball game now is McHale, probably argues that point, is Caldwell Jones.
And a timeout by Philadelphia.
And Andrew Toney. Now we may see Earl Puritan from Detroit if Philadelphia continues to have foul troubles with their big man. He did not play against Milwaukee. We could see him here.
You might see him, but he is not big enough to play with these guys at the front line of the Celtics, so that could be a problem.
The impossible is now possible. You can get a durable turtle wax finish in less than 15 minutes with new Minute Wax silicone car wax. Impossible? Well, we're here asking people like you to prove it.
You do like that, and you wipe it off. You can do the whole thing in a few minutes.
I love it. I mean, it's just, I've never seen anything so simple.
It leaves a hard protective coating, just like a turtle shell.
New Minute Wax car wax. Real turtle wax protection.
From Turtle Wax. You can't polish a car in 15 minutes with anything else.
Things move slowly when you take orders at each local office. But with telemarketing, you centralize through the Bell Network, the world's most advanced information management system. Orders flow to one office. You speed up your order cycle, speed up cash flow. You are already part of the network. Use it. Put our knowledge to work for you. The Information Management Network from Bell. The knowledge business.
Super Selling Days. They're back at GMC truck dealers. Buy a specially equipped GMC van or regular cab wide side pickup while supplies last and get air conditioning or automatic transmission at no extra cost. Super Selling Days. You can even equip your pickup with the optional 6.2-liter diesel if you wish for a hard-working, super-saving pickup. Super Selling Days. Now on GMC light duties, 12.8 annual percentage rate financing to qualified buyers now through May 31st.
Only Bill Russell would have seen this. The refs didn't see it. No one saw it. Russ saw it. This ball was dribbled off of the heel of Julius Irving's foot. It wasn't turned over by Tiny. And now you'll see it even better from another angle. As you will see the left foot of Julius Irving bounces off. Well, no one's perfect. These officials do a great job, but that was off of Julius Irving.
Well, no, that was right in front of me. Oh, boy.
We're going to talk about Maurice Cheeks and the import he has had in this series. Cheeks has averaged 14.5 points per game and has really been a key to the 76ers year, but so far they've kept him in check. 1 of 5 from the field for 2 points and no assists. Philadelphia can't operate that way.
I'll tell you about Maurice Cheeks. If he gets aggressive offense and takes the shots that he has, that's the only way they're going to be able to beat Philadelphia. He's going to have to shoot more. Because he's an excellent shooter, he takes good shots, and he very rarely takes a shot when his team is out of position so that they can't react. But he's going to have to be more aggressive if they're going to turn this around and catch these guys. I think that he is one of the most important guys out there in taking shots.
Roby committed the foul, and Dawkins, as you saw, missed the first free throw. He went from Evans High School in Orlando right to the pros 7 years ago, and maybe people expect too much of him. He has been an enigmatic player for Philadelphia, and not what everyone anticipated. And of course, he really hasn't had the coaching because of lack of college. Pick and roll, beautiful. Bird to McHale.
And that was a great pass because of the velocity on it.
Under 8 minutes to go, 7:45 in the second period. A 13-point Boston lead. And Henderson or Carr tried to steal the ball and managed to knock it over to Henderson. Boston is rolling now, and they're managing to get the open man. Toney is hurt and limping. Carr misses the shot and is put in at the other end by McHale. But Andrew Toney is limping out on the court. And we have a timeout. Andrew Toney limps to the sideline.
Now here's the play where he went down right there. And it looks like his feet got kicked out from under him. And he's grabbing his...
Timeout, 7:26 remaining. It's 42-27, Boston in control of the game. But right now, let's go to CBS News in New York for a special report on the Falklands Islands crisis.
Good day, I'm Morton Dean. There was some fighting in the Falklands today. Britain has now confirmed an earlier claim by Argentina that the Falklands came under attack by air and sea. There is no indication of any troop landings. In London, Ian MacDonald, a spokesman for the Defense Ministry, described the action this way.
The task group have today attacked military targets in the vicinity of Port Stanley Airfield. We have a report that an Argentine aircraft approached Port Stanley but turned away in the face of action by the task group.
An Argentine fishing vessel was also attacked by the British, an air attack. Argentina says the vessel sank. Britain says it surrendered and will be boarded by British forces. Also, for the second time in 3 weeks, Israeli warplanes were in action today over southern Lebanon. Israel says its jets struck at least 3 PLO bases, including one near Beirut. A spokesman says it was in response to recent terrorist acts inside Israel. There are no details on casualties or damage. Later, guerrillas in southern Lebanon shelled and rocketed settlements in northern Israel, but no injuries are reported. We'll update either or both stories if the situation warrants, and of course we'll have details on the CBS Evening News. I'm Morton Dean, CBS News, New York.
Back at Boston Garden, Andrew Toney on the sidelines, limping, went out of the ball game and has been replaced by Mike Bantam. So with Cheeks, it looks as if Cheeks and Julius Erving will be in the backcourt for Philadelphia now, Russ.
And not a bad backcourt, but even it is becoming even more important and apparent that they're going to have to get more offense and more shooting out of Maurice Cheeks.
What do they get with Erving in the backcourt? What does it mean?
Well, they get the good rebounding, and the trouble is defensively, really, because it doesn't make any difference between a guard and a forward where the guy plays. You can run the plays from out there, but here's Julius running the play. Carr on him now. Carr runs their pick with, and then he has to foul to catch up. But the difference is, defensively, who's he going to guard?
Here's the steal. Henderson going to the hoop. Celtics rolling here. Roby, by the way, has committed the foul at the other end, and it's 44-27 with 7:10 to go in the half.
And the difference is, defensively, is the speed of your opponent that you have to guard between guard and forward. The guards are usually quicker than the forward, so you have problems defensively because of speed.
The Sixers have scored only 3 points in the first 5 minutes of this period. Dawkins misses inside, but gets another chance and scores. They are really shooting horrendous basketball so far. They are 10 for 32 from the field. Now, by having Erving playing guard, they also have a bigger front line, which helps with Bantam and Dawkins and Bobby Jones, with Julius playing in the backcourt, and that's something Philadelphia needs off the glass.
His Bird trying to go to the hoop. The ball's knocked off his lead there by Bantam.
Bird has 7 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a blocked shot. And Roby gets the bucket. Can come at you so many ways with McHale and Roby off the bench. Rick is 3 for 3 from the field. He has 7 points, and his season's average was more than 5.5. So he's already exceeded that. Julius over Carr outside, and Philadelphia could use that kind of shooting.
And if they needed Julius, we'll give it to him.
17-point lead, and Roby comes right back. And Philadelphia is just not handling the Celtics on the break, and they're just pounding the board, passing the biggest lead, 17 points, 6:02 to go, a timeout.
And that's one of the problems you have when you go to the big lineup, is the transition game, especially when you got to go from offense to defense and vice versa. The other team is quicker for the 5 men, and so you end up with mismatches or guys not picking up with guys, and so you end up with a guy like Roby underneath where guys try to find their man and try to sort out the defense.
The Sixers have been a hot ball club. They have won 10 out of 12 going back to the regular season and 6 out of 8 in the playoffs. They swept Atlanta in 2 straight and beat Milwaukee in 6. Here's the break again.
And there's Roby free, and there he is dunking the ball. Wow.
Roby has 9 points, almost double his regular season average. And Earl Currett, number 25.
Just made a backcourt violation. He caught the ball, and his momentum carried him in the backcourt.
So Earl Currett, number 25.
Now, what they should not do is let Maurice Cheeks take the ball out of bounds. He should be the guy that's getting the ball.
Loop it in to McHale, and Roby has it. Roby misses. Carr bites. Henderson is in to McHale, and a goaltender against Curtin. Right at the basket to Kevin McHale. And Philadelphia can't stop the Celtics. It was a 19-point lead, 50-31. Earl Curran from Detroit picked on the 3rd round as a junior eligible. Played good ball when Dawkins first went out off the defensive class, but he doesn't have the experience you need in this kind of a series. And traveling against Bobby Jones.
Now, this lineup is a makeshift lineup. And this is why the mistakes are going to be made. And a lot of them are going to be made defensively.
Irving tried to get it to Bobby Jones. That was not a shot, but a pass. And here's McHale. What can you do? Boston going wide. People say they're a great basketball team. They proved it in the regular season, but the playoffs are another story. Look at that, scoring off the bench. And Maurice Cheeks fires outside and hits, and as Bill Russell said moments ago, Cheeks has to become more aggressive. He has 4 points in the game. You can paint this ball game green so far. 4:40 remaining in the first half. Bird, short, and Cheeks on the move. Henderson will pick him up. If anyone picks him up. And Cheeks getting hot. They need him. Maurice Cheeks, and now Boston calls a timeout following Maurice Cheeks, who has his motor running. But Boston maintains the big lead with 4:27 remaining in the first half.
They're going to have to get a lot more of that from Maurice Cheeks, because he can pick that team up as much as anyone except maybe Julius Irving.
Come discover stamp collecting. Come discover the beauty of America in a whole new way. Come enjoy the excitement, the fascination, the beautiful flowers and birds of all 50 states. It's an experience you can pass along for generations. So come to the post office and discover stamp collecting with America's birds and flowers.
From 7 watts to 100 million watts. From 12 horsepower to 180,000 pounds of thrust. Ideas that made America grow and made millionaires out of many who risked investing in them. At First Jersey Securities, we believe such investment opportunities still exist, if you know where to look for them. We do. We specialize in discovering America's emerging growth companies for today's investors with vision. First Jersey Securities. Come grow with us.
Oh, Edna, the Toyota needs struts, brakes, and a new muffler. And if we can't get the car back by tonight, we can't go to your mother's for dinner. She'll never get all that done in one day.
If you want your foreign car fixed fast, trust the Midas Touch. Midas has foreign car struts, brakes, and mufflers in stock.
I won't see my mother-in-law for a week.
Trust the Midas Touch.
Hi, Mom.
Next weekend, the pros are back in full swing at the Colonial National Invitation, and CBS Sports' Emmy Award-winning team covers the action like no one else. Next weekend on CBS Sports.
And they call the Colonial Hogan's Alley. Hall of Famer Ben Hogan won 5 crowns on that course. The Colonial National Invitation next week on CBS Fort Worth, Texas. Check your local listing. Kevin McHale came over to the Boston Celtics along with Robert Parrish. McHale was the 3rd player picked in the draft. The Celtics gave up their pick number 1. Not a bad deal, Russ.
Not bad at all. No, he does a lot of things, and one of the things is he's a great intimidator because he's one of the league leaders in block shots. Besides his rebounding and scoring.
Big play man, proved it against the Bullets. Bird looking inside, 4:10 to go. Philadelphia scored 4 in a row. Roby is double-teamed by Curitin and Andrew Toney. Three-point attempt, and kicked up and in by Roby. Philadelphia simply is not keeping Boston off the offensive glass at all.
Well, they have a small team out there. The biggest guy out there is Bobby Jones and Eric Puritan, and they don't have enough bulk.
Inside to Toney, and a good pass from Bobby Jones to Andrew Toney. Rick Roby, coming off the bench, has 11 points on 5 of 6 shooting. So the bench has been a big story for the Celtics. Playoff high, 14 points. There's a chance to break that. Henderson to McHale, turnaround. The rebound, Curitin. I'll tell you, Boston will make 2 or 3 passes within a 5-foot radius. Watch it. Larry Bird got out of the way. Julius Erving drive to the hoop. Julius with 12.
Now they need a few more of those just to get them revved up.
15-point Boston lead was 21 just a couple of minutes ago. McHale going to the hoop. Tipped up. Missed by Roby. Julius comes down with it. Bobby Jones with Bird back. Jones misses. McHale, and they go the other way as Julius slow gets back in the action. Bird pulls up. 9 for Larry Bird. Roby with 11 is the leading scorer for Boston. Irving with 12, the top scorer for Philly. 2:42 remaining. First half. Celtics have dominated. Toney. Earl Curitin. Bird, long pass, but Cheeks is there as a safety man. Philadelphia will have to get back to stop the long passes. They did it there. But the Sixers just can't put the ball in the hoop consistently enough. Henderson with the ball. Billy Cunningham trying to find a combination, and he'll have halftime to do it. Team by no means out of this ball game. He knows what a blowing a lead means. He's been in the other shoe. Bird, and good defense by Curitin and Irving inside. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. Toney leaves it for Julius. Curitin puts it through in a basket. Counts in a foul, too.
And that was a great pass by Irving. It looked like a shot, but that was a pass. Now here's that fast break with Julius. He takes off the foul line.
Henderson commits the foul on the awesome play of Julius. M.L. Carr goes out with 8 points and is replaced by number 42, Chris Ford. There's Henderson, who has 2, but Chris Ford is the player who replaces M.L. Carr. Ford started 52 games this season, then had a lower back injury and never got back into the starting lineup. But a stabilizer and a good team player who set an example to the younger players by taking his medicine and coming off the bench. He could have caused a lot of problems, and Bill Fitch is grateful for that. Timeout, 1:50 to go in the half. It's a 14-point Boston lead, and Earl Curitin has helped spark him a little bit, right?
Well, he's getting into the flow of the game. He hasn't played much in the games before, so it's hard if you haven't played in a week or so really in competition. Because nothing can take, practice is one thing, but being in competition, so it takes a little time to get into the game.
Average a little more than 2 minutes against Milwaukee. Coming up at halftime, a preview of the Preakness, the second jewel of horse racing's Triple Crown. Our rebound feature will be on former Cincinnati great Jack Twyman. And, of course, Brent will have all the scores and highlights of today's events, including the London Marathon. So, Brent Musburger will bring you up to date at halftime from CBS Sports Control at the news desk. Tiny Archibald back in the ball game.
Now, this last minute and a half is going to be very important to both of these teams.
McHale. What does Philly have to do? Get to 10. Cheeks all the way. Short on the layup. Bird has Roby. Ford open.
Now, they didn't help. It doesn't make. They don't have. It would be better to get into 10. You'd like that. But to go into halftime on a roll is what's important, especially for Philadelphia.
16-point lead, double team Andrew Toney, and Earl Curitin gets the bucket inside. Bird, by the way, 5 for 11 from the field. 14-point lead now with 1 minute remaining in the first half. And a whistle before the shot by Roby. It is on the Sixers, and that That will be Philadelphia's 15th foul, so Roby will go to the line to shoot one in the penalty as Puritan picks up his first personal.
And he is not normally a good free throw shooter.
But you know, at the second half, toward the end of the year, he was over 60% to raise his free throw percentage to respectability. And for him, it's like a little 53%, but he was over 60. Maybe he got bounces like that. That's how he got back up to 53. He was well below for a while.
That'll get you over 50.
He's been on championship teams at Kentucky and the NIT and the NCAA, and of course, member of the championship team last year, and he's 3 for 3 from the line in this game, and 13 points. Oh, under a minute to play. You see it. 16-point Boston lead. Bird knocks the ball away and steals it. Credited to Bird. Chris Ford slows it up with 20 seconds on the shot clock. 16 on the shot clock.
3 times I can remember the first half, the Philadelphia's had a man open, they try to get the pass to him, and they use the wrong kind of pass.
Ford for 2. Short. Bird has it again, baseline. And they can use up the clock. Roby hits outside. What a game for Rick Roby, who came to Boston from Indiana. And a deal for Billy Knight, and what a deal that was for the Celtics. He has 15 points. A career high in the playoffs for Rick Roby from the University of Kentucky. Final second. In the crowd, Tony, the cheeks is clobbered inside. Mochi's last year was hampered by migraine headaches, which limited his effectiveness in the playoffs. He's all right now, but the Celtics are just doing a job on him. And Rick Roby, who can set picks, fight a bull outside, is really off to a great start here.
And they have the fast break working to perfection. So I guess the couple of days off hasn't hurt him at all.
Roby, 3 personals, and Cheeks has another one coming. 3 seconds remaining. Cunningham with Jack McMahon and Matt Dukas. The brain trust on the Philadelphia bench, thinking what he'll discuss with his team in the intermission. 1 of 2. Bird comes out with it. And that's history. First half of a Philadelphia-Boston series. The 12th series in history between these two clubs. And it's been Boston all the way, 62-45, with Rick Roby coming off the bench with McHale. Brent Musburger will take it out of commercial. The halftime statistics, as we told you all along, Philadelphia hasn't shot all that well. Boston's not up to 50%. Big rebounding edge by 8. The turnovers favor Boston, and the assists as well. Bill is going to interpret all this in a moment. Looking at the scoring, Irving with 12, Tony with 11. Look at the Jones boys at the bottom. 0 for them. And for the Boston Celtics, Rick Roby, a playoff high for him, and also matching his season's high with 15, Bird with 11, McHale off the bench with 9, and so it goes down the line. Now, one thing I've noticed is that you're a very short man. I'm sitting next to you, and I feel like I'm 6'9", and you're only 6'1".
Well, this chair is the one I used when I played my rookie year. No bottom.
No bottom at all.
Chair as old as I am.
All right, quickly, the points of the game.
Well, I think that Philadelphia, if they're going to come back, they'll have to be more aggressive offensively. Now, they have had key foul trouble. And what I mean, they got 2 guys in the same position with 3 fouls. Daryl Dawkins does not play well with foul trouble because he's too passive then. Okay, with he and Caldwell Jones both in foul trouble, they are not getting good center play. And that's key to them, is to get good play in the center position. That's rebounding, that's passing, that's setting screens, and the guys that are replacing them can't make it up. And the other thing is, now, Boston, as both teams, benefit from their defense. Their offenses are fed by the defense. Now, Boston has been very aggressive defensively, and Rick Roby has taken advantage of the fact that Philadelphia is not coordinated defensively. Because of the makeshift combination, they are missing assignments, and he's the guy that's getting open, and he's taking full advantage of it.
So, in other words, Parrish and Roby have really dominated Caldwell Jones and Daryl Dawkins.
No contest there at the first half.
Okay.
And that's why, and these 2 guys, Daryl Dawkins and Caldwell Jones, are so important to Philadelphia that you can see that those guys not playing, they're not in the game.
Big game for Rick Roby so far. All right, getting ready for the start of the second half.
Now here's Rick Roby. See, the defense is not back. He's all alone. Now that is a high percentage shot, Jake. That is a high percentage shot. And here we go to the second half now. I think a couple things have to happen. I think Murray Cheeks is going to have to shoot more, and they're going to have to get the guys going to have to be able to play.
Maxwell lost the ball. No, it's still Boston ball.
I'm talking about Caldwell Jones and Daryl Dawkins are going to have to be able to play the second half.
Bobby Jones starts up front with Caldwell Jones and Daryl Dawkins.
No, Julius.
Julius Irving, I'm sorry, and Andrew Toney and Mo Cheeks in the backcourt. Larry Bird up front with Parrish and Maxwell, Carr and Archibald. Robert Parrish hit from the baseline. Robert Parrish.
And the continuation of domination in the center position, it continues second half. Now, Philadelphia's going to have to get their act together pretty quick the second half.
Parrish averaged nearly 20 a game, 20th in scoring in the league. And Philadelphia off to a slow start in the second half. They've only 2 fast break points in the first 19 minutes of the game. They turned the ball over 8 times in the second period and really didn't shoot well. 28% for the first 14 minutes of the game. Offensive foul called against the Boston Celtics.
Maxwell, he swung that arm to try to get Julius' hand off of him.
You said he was the MVP in the playoffs last year in his 5th season, and the turnover story. So Mo Cheeks with the ball, and you pointed out very early, Cheeks has to become more aggressive offensively, and for a flash, he did that toward the end of the first half. Toney double-teamed quickly. It's concerned with Toney. 8 seconds on the shot clock, and Maurice Cheeks hits from the corner. That's what they want. 9 points for Mo Cheeks. Tiny, he's looking to get inside, and of course they clog the middle and make him go to the corner. Parrish is up high. Caldwell Jones with him. He's playing with 3 persons. Archibald, short. Maxwell gets the offensive rebound, and Caldwell Jones might have hit it. Let's see.
And that's his 4th foul.
It is 4 fouls on Caldwell Jones. Everyone talks about Dawkins getting into foul trouble, and he is with 3, but that's 4 on Caldwell Jones.
Now here's the shots taken by Tiny. That's the shot they want him to take. And there's the rebound. There's Caldwell Jones coming over the top.
Bird, foot block on Irving. It's still Boston ball.
And you see the pass that Bird was attempting to make was a bounce pass. And what happens if you don't get it through, that's what happens. You get a new 24 seconds because they have to kick.
Bobby Jones doubling on Max. Bird puts a fake on Bobby Jones and loops it short. Tries to tip it up. And here comes Julius. Gets it out to Toney, and Carr steals the ball. ML Carr all the way.
That's the kind of stuff, the Philadelphia usually they key on mistakes. And what happened was that pass, that outlet pass that Julius made was the correct pass, but he should have put more velocity on it.
You could see that coming. ML Carr the steal.
ML Carr did see it coming.
Timeout.
Dredging for oysters isn't easy, but I like it out here. There's no time clocks or traffic jams, and the air's fresher, and the water's cleaner. You know, I even think the beer tastes better. Hey, looks like it's Miller time. Yeah.
Miller time. Time for America's quality beer.
Well, another day at the office, huh?
Miller High Life.
If you've got the time. 3 Millers. Miller's got the speed. Miller beer.
What made Chevy Chevette the best-selling small car in America last year?
All the standard features: reclining front seat, AM radio, shift console, white stripe tires, fold-down rear seat, and lots of other things.
Is the Chevette's great gas mileage? A big 30 EPA estimated miles per gallon, 42 estimated highway.
Could it be Chevette's low price? It's still one of the lowest priced four-door hatchbacks sold in America, foreign or domestic.
And if you take delivery by May 31st, get 12.8% financing.
I never understand some companies. They'll spend a fortune on a businessman's salary and make him fly coach where he wastes a day. If they flew Pan Am's Clipper class, for a little extra money, they'd have room to work and room to think. Pan Am's always understood the business traveler. I still remember my first flight.
Mr. Bradley, I wouldn't worry. You'll do just fine in Manila.
You think the presentation will go all right, Mr. Bradley?
I think it'll be brilliant. Pan Am Clipper class. You can't beat the experience.
He could be Boston's most valuable player. Look at the year he had. It was the year that Robert Parrish emerged as a star in the game to give the Celtics an intimidator inside and an all-round player who can handle the ball, hit from outside. He has 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 block shots today. He is really the tower of strength for the Boston Celtics out of Centenary in his 5th year. The man they call the Chief, Robert Parrish.
And he's not a bad chief, I can tell you that. And this Boston Celtics game is suited perfectly for his talent.
Biggest lead, 21 points. Julius and Parrish knocked the ball away. A fine block. It is still Philadelphia ball. Irving says, what about goaltending? And it was touched by...
Now, here's this play. There's Robbie Parrish. He blocks the shot. And it's off of Caldwell Jones, I believe. That's what it looked like, but they call it... I'm disagreeing with the referees again.
You ought to be a referee, you know, because you're really...
No.
Stolen by Maxwell on the inbound pass. What
another fast
tough
break.
bench for Boston in this game. Basket counts by Bird and a foul, and the Celtics
capitalizing on Philadelphia mistakes.
Struggle against Washington. They're playing this game like they're spry and ready to go, and Philadelphia, that beat Milwaukee Friday in Milwaukee, can't get out of first gear as Mike Phantom replaces Bobby Jones. That's just their biggest lead, and Larry Bird will go to the line with 13 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, and 5 steals.
You probably think he's ready to play.
Yeah, I think they all are. This is game 1, folks, best of 7. We'll be with you next weekend, games 3 and 4 from Philadelphia, Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Cheeks. Jordan.
Bad rotation on the ball. He's a better shooter than that.
9:40 to go, third period. 22-point lead, biggest lead of the ball game for Boston. Bird adding to it. Not this time, and here comes the dot. Julius, Maxwell from behind, fouls him. Max tried to knock the ball away because he had some green shirts in front of Julius, and he commits his 4th personal foul. 4 fouls on Cedric Maxwell.
But he's one of the players that plays well with fouls.
Team foul, number 1 on Boston. Sixers have 2 team fouls. Tony over ML Carr. Julius keeps it going. Good play by Julius, but it winds up in the hands of Carr.
When they go bad.
Yep. Range of 4. Bird. Julius on him. Low to Paris. Double team. Caldwell Jones is there. Good defense by Caldwell Jones. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Even the passes at the top of the board come out to Boston hands. Cunningham shows what it's all about for Philadelphia's side. I mean, that was a brutal shot, and Celtics have possession with 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. Carr from Guilford College, fouled by Cheek.
Now, you know what Billy Cunningham is thinking about. He's sitting there looking at it, and it's not despair. Well, the coach doesn't have time for that. What he has to see is get a feel of what he can do to change the tempo of what's happening so that the game is flowing in their direction. They're swimming upstream right now.
Boston's just executing their game better than Philadelphia is executing theirs. Boston's not doing anything.
But there are reasons for that.
Parrish inside. That's one of them.
Yes. Well, the foul trouble with Caldwell Jones now, he has to have help now because of the foul trouble that he didn't have to have before. So now you got a distortion in the defense. Is that they're having guys out that are helping them out. And this makes you play bad defense. And Boston's capitalizing on it.
Foul is on ML Carr. Let's watch Robert Parrish, who's done it all inside this season.
See, he's keeping active, going across the lane. He's there. Now he's inside there for the easy shot.
Carr's foul was his 3rd personal and the 2nd team foul on the Celtics with 8:10 remaining in the 3rd period. Mo Cheeks so far has 9 points. 5 below his playoff average. Tony, big threat offensively, hits the shot. 13 points.
But one of the problems with that shot he just took and made, the shot went in. But because he took so much time to get the shot off, their offense is frozen. So their transition is usually not good. And if they don't make a good make the basket, they're out of it on the transition game.
Archibald going to Parrish. Caldwell Jones has him out, going baseline. What a move, baseline, and he did that against one of the best defensive forwards and centers in basketball. 7 of 12. He's in his last 4 has Parrish. Sixers trying to save it. Look at the hustle by ML Carr. And we'll have substitutions. Here's the move by Robert again.
He's got Caldwell Jones, and he can feel him on his hip. And I can feel him. He sees on the other side. There goes baseline. And so you don't block those kind of dunk shots.
No. Flint Richardson back in the ball game, and Mo Cheeks goes out. Cheeks has 9 points. Caldwell Jones who hit 20 points in one game against Milwaukee, misses there. Carr knocked away by Richardson, and it's still Boston ball.
Good defensive play by Richardson. That's the only place you can get that is just when he picks the ball up and got in front of him.
Bill Fitch, who did a fine job at Cleveland, getting him into the Eastern Finals against Boston several years ago. 3 years in Boston.
And that's some pick that Bird has put on Tony.
Bird.
And he was rewarded for it.
16 for Larry Bird. High scorer now in the ball game. Tony for 3. Wide.
Blocked by Maxwell.
And Richardson's shot. Richardson again misses. He's not a great shooter. But Philadelphia has to find an offense from somebody. Their leading scorer, Tony, has 13. Julius has 12. And here come the Sixers with Richardson to Bantam. Bantam goes in and can't make the layup on the roll. 6:25 to go in the third. 26-point lead. Biggest lead of the ball game for Boston. Now it's 28. And the Celtics are hammering the 76ers. And Philadelphia has scored only 4 points in nearly half of this third period. And the pictures tell the story.
It's almost like you better get out of the way.
28-point lead. And every chapter is a different one when these teams meet. Last year, Philadelphia had it in their hip pocket, 3-1, and had leads in 3 different games, 5, 6, and 7, and lost it. Right now, Philadelphia has been buried with 6:17 to go in the third. We'll be back.
I found out how affordable Michelin radios were. I thought they were putting me on. Well, as it turns out, I'm putting them on.
I came in here expecting only to have enough for my second choice, but he put me on to Michelin for about the same price.
If anyone tells you Michelin quality is too expensive, they're putting you on. Price Michelins. Only our standards are high.
I found out Michelin prices are really competitive. So that's what I'm putting on.
Michelin. We put America on radios.
I'm Hurley Hayward. Our race team has over $100,000 invested in this race car, so we protect our investment with Kendall Motor Oil.
I don't drive a race car, but I have a big investment of my own to protect. So I use Kendall Superb 100 gas motor oil. Its special friction fighters keep my car running smooth and help save gas. You don't have to own a race car to need Kendall protection. You just have to own a car.
Protect your investment with Kendall Confidence.
When you buy a new car, you want to keep it looking new. And that's easy with Armor All Protectant. A scientific formula that took a polymer chemist 10 years to develop. It helps keep rubber, vinyl, leather, and plastic looking new. So even though you can't keep your car from getting old, you can keep it from looking old. Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
Boston clobbering Philadelphia to this point, 77-49. Sixers have only 4 points. Talk about penetration with Tiny Archibald.
On this fast break now, Tiny got fast break, and now he gets in there, gets reaction from the defense, makes a nice pass, easy shot to Maxwell.
The rebounding story, as you might expect, Boston excelling in that area.
By 10.
And in shooting, Philadelphia 2 of 11 in this period, only 34% for the game.
And I'm not sure, but I don't think Boston's got any points in this second half from outside. I think the longest one was that one that Larry Bird made, which is about 12 feet. Once they're getting inside.
Clint Richardson shot blocked by Robert Parrish. Maxwell lost it to Richardson inside. Banks it in. Clint Richardson, who averaged more than 4.5 points a game. Tough guard.
And he just ran into a pick by M.L. Carr to set up Tony to get a foul with Tiny Archibald.
Second foul on Andrew Toney. And for the Philadelphia 76ers, the 4th team foul. 5:48 to go, third period. Told you, Philadelphia, last 5 years, winningest team in the league, but they haven't been able to get the brass ring. It's the one thing they want. And a foul inside.
And 5 fouls on
Caldwell Jones. 5 on Caldwell Jones.
Here's a guy that normally doesn't get in foul trouble.
Earl Puritan is going to come back in the ball game, and there's nothing Billy can do. I'll tell you one thing, he's saving his energy in this one.
He hasn't given up yet.
Nobody saved his energy so far. Earl Puritan, who so far in the ball game has scored 5 points. That was Caldwell Jones on the bench. He came out with 5. Both. Tony threw it away. Threw it over Richardson's hand. Might have
right through. That was a bullet. And not a silver bullet.
Cheeks is going to come back in. He has only 2 assists in the ball game.
Now, I'd like to point out right now, Dick, that Philadelphia definitely has foul trouble with Caldwell Jones and Darryl Dawkins. Bird's not. But we always consider injuries and foul trouble the same. You don't use either one as an excuse. You know, like guys that were so-and-so hurt, they just like they're in foul trouble. That's part of the game.
Speaking about foul trouble, Maxwell just picked up number 5, and Kevin McHale's going to come in. So he has 5 fouls, and now they're bringing in, as Cheeks comes in for Philadelphia, as we told you, Kevin McHale, who has 9 points in the ball game and 5 rebounds. Second-year player and an outstanding 6th man who started a good deal of the season. He started 32 ball games.
And with that substitution, they didn't go up or down in terms of team talent. They just made it just a difference.
McHale was on Irving, and Irving misses outside. That's right. Good point. 4:45 remaining in the third. Harris at the baseline. Double team. Makes no difference.
You can't double team up there.
Max on the bench, but Harris with 16 big points in the ball game. Last 5 in a row, and a 30-point Boston lead. I don't know how many times there's been a 30-point lead in this series. I'm sure there has to be at some point.
Not a lot.
McHale from Tiny. Even when it doesn't work, things work. Not that time, but that's one of the few times. They even score off a broken play. Cheeks, Security, drives in. Tandem, look at that. Harris blocks it. Bird stepped on the line. It's Philadelphia ball, but that's not the point. Boston makes chicken salad out of chicken feathers, and Philadelphia, when they have it right in front of them, can't manage to do much.
Now here's that other shot missed. That's Parrish blocking it, and look at Larry Bird go try to make it.
Look at that. And that's with a 30-point lead, folks, with 4:05 remaining in the third.
He loves his fans. He wanted to be out there with them.
He's in there signing autographs. Not really. By the way, Parrish has blocked 5 shots in this ball game. He was 5th in the league in blocked shots. 4 players in this game were amongst the top 10. Bantam going to the hoop, and McHale on a break. Henderson is behind Carr. Carr against Cheeks. Henderson. Philadelphia can best regroup. Cheeks. Puritan. He's got Bird and Parrish. Parrish blocked shot number 6, and you could see it coming. You could see that coming. Harris has 6 of the 10. 3:40 remaining, third period.
Now, what Robert Parrish has done today will last for at least 3 or 4 games. Just the thought of it. The memory of it will be vivid for at least 3 or 4 games.
You know that kind of thing, I know. McHale rebounds off the miss.
And what it causes guys to get steps in 3 seconds offensively. A lot of times because they're looking for that guy and they're making mistakes like that.
Henderson, who really matured this year. His quickness paid off defensively, offensively. Look at the pass. Parrish to Henderson. The Boston.
They always play basketball, the give and go.
Danny Ames and Chris Ford, the young and the old, kind of, so to speak. Bantam up. Parrish clears it. And a foul by Bantam. But let's look at the give and go. As you said, the oldest play in the book works to perfection.
Gerald Henderson. This is what you call the give when he makes the pass inside. That's the give, and there he goes.
What can we say? 32-point lead.
They're saying it all right there.
Now, from Renault, who turbocharged Grand Prix racing and won, there is Fuego. Born of Renault Racing, Fuego. Turbocharged or fuel-injected with 5 forward speeds, a slippery .35 drag coefficient, rack and pinion steering, front-wheel drive, cockpit instrumentation. Fuego by Renault. Drive Fuego for under $8,500 at Renault and American Motors dealers everywhere.
I'm Julius Irvin. People call me Dr. J because of how I operate. For 20 years, I've been making my rounds in these, Converse. Light on the fast break, strong when you go to set a pick, and in rebounding, no shoe protects you better than Converse. So when people ask me for my advice on how to improve their game, I always say,
take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
On every field, on every court, reach for the stars, Converse.
Poor guy. Went just like that. Whoa!
Yeah, and he seemed so healthy.
Oh!
You, Harvey Conway.
Me? Oh, no. I got a wife, kids, a tournament. And a piece of the Rock Prudential Life Insurance. That'll help.
Nothing gives you peace of mind like a piece of the Rock. Maybe that's why more people choose Prudential than any other life insurance.
I thought I'd have more time. Doesn't everybody?
Prudential Insurance.
Tuesday, it's another edition of the Book of Lists. Bill Bixby and guest Cloris Leachman show you ways to leave your lover, the windiest cities, the sexiest men in America, and more. Tuesday.
If you want to see basketball at its best, you want to see precision, power, running game by a team that people say may be amongst the greatest in the game. The playoffs may write another chapter. During the regular season, they were the Boston Celtics. Parrish, 7 block shots, but 5 in this period. 4 for 4 shooting, and he has really been a key, but the bench has too.
They're getting a lot of good things now. In the first half, his substitute, Rick Rubin, may have outplayed him.
That's right.
And he's having a great game now.
Here's a guy who has not played. He's a forgotten man for Philadelphia. 11-year veteran Steve Mitch, who has been a forgotten man. Billy Cunningham in there now. Has played well against Boston in the past. He sets good picks and a good shooter from outside and from the line. 85-51. Mitch doesn't go. Bobby Jones tried to tip it in.
Emma Carr got the rebound. Now here's Larry Bird. Bird is hitting McHale.
Double team McHale doesn't make a difference. McHale again. And Curtin comes down with it. Philadelphia 3 of 22 from the field in the third period.
Now they're not getting the shots that they want off the break.
Harris rebound on Mitch's way.
They had a 4-on-3 break and they didn't capitalize on it. That's what they have to do.
Look at that, shooting. And I think it's less than that right now. I think it's less than 15. Harris, McHale goes up and is fouled. 2:10 remaining. Don't forget, second game of our doubleheader will be at the Forum in Los Angeles for Game 1 of the Western Finals between the San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Now you look at this. This is sort of a mismatch, it seems. Now you look up in Boston and you say, well, they should beat these guys 4 straight. No way. You look at these 2 teams, and the next game could be as different as night and day.
You know, a lot of fans may think that the 76ers are getting whipped so badly, they're going to be crushed and they'll never come back from this.
Well, these teams are too strong psychologically. They're just put this off to experience, and it will not affect them adversely in any way the next game.
Less than 2 minutes to go in the third. The Sixers have missed 13 of their last 14 shots. They get 14 out of 15. Fast break, Henderson. Picked up. No good by McHale. If they had a second man there, as they always do. Are they playing with 6 or 7 men? I mean, at the same time? Looks that way.
Some of the guys at the Sixers think so today.
1:35 remaining. Third period. Cheeks down the middle and gets the basket in the foul, too. Only 8 points in this period for Philadelphia. And Fitch still trying to get one thing about Bill Fitch. He'll never get him satisfied. He'll never say, guys, we did it all right. Good going. We'll see you for game 2. He'll find something wrong.
This is a good game when guys are making mistakes that you get all over them about it because they can hear you better when they're playing well. And you correct the mistakes here when you have a good situation and you can get the guy's attention. But you do not want to make those mistakes in a close ball game. So if you remind the guy of these mistakes in a ball game like this, it helps you in the next ball game.
That's a great point. Foul, by the way, was on Larry Bird, his second. He's got 20 points in the ball game. Bird has 20. Parrish has 18. Roby, 15. Hasn't played much in this third period, if at all. And Tony, 13, leading Philadelphia. He has not played Roby in the second half.
And you'd say that Philadelphia has had a slight advantage in the center position.
Tony commits these fouls on occasion.
Now here's Bird and Richardson going after the rebound, and there's Tony with the foul right there.
Philadelphia over the limit, and Larry Bird will go to the line and shoot.
And you notice by that last play, the Sixers have not given up. Because you have to hustle, no matter what the score is and how much time is left, doesn't make any difference. You got to go all out all the time way out there.
This, as we know, this Philadelphia club is a fine basketball team. They have been playing perhaps some of their best basketball. They're getting blown out by the Celtics here, but they have quality people on that team.
And that's what it's all about. Quality people.
Well, Curran gets it out to Cheeks. Look how Boston is hustling on defense with a lead like this. Henderson.
And a great pass by Larry Bird. And a great reception by Gerald Henderson.
And everyone on the Boston bench supports each other, and Irving is on the bench with 12. Curran inside. Bird with the rebound. 3-on-3. Carr has Henderson 3 underneath. Harris. With 18 seconds in the period. 12 now on the shot clock. Biggest lead has been 39. Here comes Philadelphia. And Tony's layup ends it. A third period. Incredible scoring in the third period. The Celtics outscored them by 31-11. Yep, that's right. To the third period with the score. Boston, 93. Philadelphia, 56. Game 1 of our best of 7. And we'll be back with the start of the fourth period after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.
Managing branch office communications can be puzzling, but now there's a system from New England Telephone that solves that problem. Using 8-digit dialing, it connects all of your offices nationwide. It automatically routes or reroutes every call to the least expensive line,
letting us control costs, speed information, and increase productivity.
We put it together for the Foxborough Company. We can put it together for you.
It doesn't take a banker to know that interest rates on new car loans are high. 21% at a major New England bank. But why go to a bank when your New England Oldsmobile dealer is offering 12.8% on any Olds? That's the lowest GMAC interest rate in over a year. So where would I go for a new car loan? I wouldn't go to a bank.
See your New England Oldsmobile dealer right now. He'll help you buy a new car for less.
Family Feud, weekdays at 5:30.
I'm a fan of great inside moves and a fan of David Greenwood. I'm a fan of fast moves, so I'm sure a fan of David Thompson.
I love to watch a great all-around ball player. That's why I can't help being a Dr. J fan.
Hey, that's exactly the same reason why I'm a Kevin McHale fan.
I like watching a star in your eyes. That's why I'm a Joe Barry fan.
Everybody's an NBA fan because the NBA action is fantastic.
The preceding message was furnished by the National Basketball Association. The NBA on CBS is sponsored by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Norelco Rotatrack Razor. And by Prudential. For life, health, auto, home, get a piece of the rock. Prudential Insurance.
We're back at Boston Garden. There are 14 championship banners. They're looking for number 15. And in the third period, Celtics outscored Philadelphia 31-11, and it wasn't as close as that score indicates.
No, it did look like a mismatch. Well, that's just what's so unique about playoff competition is that
you never know.
It has nothing to do with the next game.
That's right.
Absolutely nothing.
Look at that shooting story. You know, Boston hasn't been at 50% in this ball game. Turnover story. Fourth period, Nick Stockton and Bill Russell. Boston Garden has been a wipeout for the Celtics. They have a 37-point lead. Steve Mix, who hasn't played in a long time, except sporadically. He's played 3+ minutes. And Curran has 7 points in the ball game. So he's getting some playoff experience against Boston here. Henderson is in there. Larry Bird had quite a third period. Robert Parrish has had quite a game. He's got 20 overall now.
And Curran is just not big enough to play him.
Well, the foul trouble story, you graphically told us about that at halftime. Curran hits the jumper. He has 2 in a row. Caldwell Jones is on the bench with 5 personal fouls. And Dawkins has 3. He's on the bench. There's Parrish trying to get free, and Larry Bird comes in. Parrish offensive class to Chris Ford. Bring it out. Terrific camaraderie amongst both players on both teams. They respect each other. Bill said just game 1, and that's what it is, just game 1. Parrish ups it, and it dropped for him. 22 for Parrish. Ties him with Bird for the game scoring leader. He has hit now 7 in a row, however. He's on a roll. His 0-0. Mix. Tony. Ford is on Tony. Mix is trying to set a screen. Andrew. Short. Harris with another rebound. 14 in the game. Harris was 8th in rebounding in the league. And he's averaged in the playoffs a little more than 12 coming into this one. Look at that. 24. For Robert Parrish. He was runner-up to Larry Bird and MVP in the All-Star game. Earl Curran has hit 2 in this period. Clint Richardson goes up and gets the hoop. So Richardson, leading scorer for Philadelphia, Andrew Toney with 15 points. He's in the game right now. Chiefs and Irving have 12. And Philadelphia wisely is keeping Julius on the bench. No need to waste him at this point.
You know, in a game like this, you know, sometimes they say, well, you beat them and give them something to think about. This is the kind of game you don't have to think about any of it. Try to forget this one.
Right. Bird outside. 24 points. What a display of basketball in every phase of the game. Excellent. Celtics, 63 wins. Became the first team since Milwaukee Bucks to win 60 or more 3 straight years. Franklin Edwards, who was the #1 draft pick out of Cleveland State, and a fine youngster waiting for his opportunity, and according to Billy C, it'll come. Ford commits the foul, and we have a timeout. Nearly 3 minutes gone by in this fourth period. It's been Boston. B-O-S-T-O-N. Simple as that.
If your morning shave is turned into a nightmare, gotcha. Wake up to the exclusive twin-action Norelco Rotatrack razor. Inside 3 floating heads. Twin-action grips and raises hair up. Then razors hair off, closer than ever. For twin blade closeness without a nick or cut, the twin-action Norelco Rotatrack razor. Cord or rechargeable. For a shave that's twin blade close, but no gotcha.
So while everyone else was redesigning the car, Firestone was redesigning the tire.
The result? Oh, our latest 721, the Petrix.
How about traction?
All season. Great with front or rear wheel drive.
Unusual tread, Mr. Peabody.
For superb handling on today's fuel-efficient cars.
And sizes?
It's 98% of the cars on U.S. roads.
Excluding imports, including imports.
Where could you possibly go from here?
To lunch.
Firestone 721 metrics, the tire redesigned.
Being a lumberjack, you'd think the last thing I'd do on my day off is climb a tree. If you knew how much we got for winning, you'd know we don't do it for the money. But after it's over, the one thing we'd better get is a really great beer.
Nice race. Come on, guys. It's Miller time.
Miller time. Time for America's quality beer.
You know I let you win, don't you?
Miller High Life.
If you got the time, Miller's got the beer.
The San Antonio Spurs, who eliminated Seattle in 5 games, and the Lakers, who swept Phoenix in 4, will go at it in Game 1 of the Western Conference Final coming up next on CBS. The survivor of that series, the winner of this series, will meet in the NBA's World Championship Series, which you will see all games, whether they go 4 or 7 on CBS. Franklin Edwards, the rookie from Cleveland State, is in the backcourt with Clint Richardson. Steve Mix, Earl Puritan, and Andrew Toney. Richardson misses the shot, McHale the rebound. So only Toney is the starter in the lineup right now for Philadelphia. Coming up between games, you will see in its entirety the exciting punching ability of Boom Boom Mancini as he knocked out Art Frias in the first round yesterday on CBS. You will see that entire first round, and it was an action-packed round indeed. Brent will also have other news and scores. Henderson hits a short jumper.
That's a free one, you know. You intercept it down there, you say, well, I'm going to take this one. I got this one by myself. I think I'll just take it.
41-point lead. That's got to be the biggest in history between these clubs. Richardson misses. Bird the rebound. It's Bird. Roby back in the game, by the way. He had 15 points in the first half. And McHale. Basket good and a foul.
And you see what happens with a team like this that Philadelphia has out there. As I repeat myself saying that where you get hurt the most is defensively. Now, McHale, who's a dangerous player, and in ordinary circumstances, the guy that usually guard him would never let him be down by himself without watching him, because you know he's dangerous. And these guys didn't even know he was there because the defense is not coordinated.
We're going to see Danny Ainge and Charles Bradley before long in this game. Curran committed the foul.
3-point play by Kevin McHale.
Franklin Edwards. Earl Puritan. And Bird. He's picked up a few rebounds here.
And the first thing he does when he's sure he's got control of the ball is to look up court. But he never does it before he has made sure he's got control of the ball.
15 rebounds in the ball game for Larry Bird. Look at the feed to Chris Ford. The Philadelphia bench just watching. This is a rout with a capital R. Franklin Edwards misses the shot, and McHale. They're going to break again Henderson. Roby is ahead of Henderson. And he couldn't handle the ball. Philadelphia takes over, and here is the #1 draft choice for the Boston Celtics coming in the ball game, and a hand to Larry Bird. Let's pick up Bird as he goes out. Stymied somewhat against Washington in the last series. Bird breaks out to the tune of 24 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, and he also had 4 steals. A great performance from Larry Bird. With many great performances by the Celtics.
Now, you know, you look at this game, and it's not even close. But there's not a person in this building that is not, except on the Philadelphia bench there, that's not enjoying this.
Charles Bradley is saw there, and he is a crowd pleaser in his own right. He is a strong performer. As you just look at his physique, and you can tell that. He can dunk the ball and a tough, tenacious defensive player. Charles Bradley, who's averaged 6.5 minutes during the regular year. Puritan misses. And here's Earl again from Detroit. Junior eligible goes in, and Richardson crashing the board against Roby. I tell you, who's ever in the game, they're working hard, and they're trying awfully hard, Russ.
Well, the team didn't get here today without playing that way. You know, you say they get just run out of the building. But they will be in there fighting until the last whistle blows, because in order to get here, you had to be that kind of team.
108-62. That adds up to a 46-point lead. And as Russ says, this is a story in Game 1.
All over America, Ramada is changing the ho-hums into the ahas.
We're taking ho-hums out, we're putting ahas in. We're making changes for the better, cause we like the grins.
We're putting ahas into our bedrooms, our lobbies, and our restaurants. So if you've been tired of the ho-hums, come to Ramada. We're waiting for you with some very big ahas.
We're changing right before your eyes.
At Ford Motor Company, quality is job one.
Well, quality, as far as I'm concerned, means a satisfied customer.
First, you get quality, because production without quality is no production at all.
Q1, quality is number one with us.
Job one is to make the very best car we can.
Better and better, see what we've done. At Ford, quality is job one.
When this young executive bought a house, he looked in towns where the commuter trains were reliable, smart. And when he bought a new car, he researched resale prices on the model he wanted, smart. And today, he's placing the biggest order for plain paper copiers in his company's history. He chose Savin, the company with an extensive product line and the largest service network in the industry. Smart.
Next weekend, the pros are back in full swing at the Colonial National Invitation, and CBS Sports' Emmy Award-winning team covers the action like no one else. Next weekend on CBS Sports.
And we have a superb field in store for the Colonial National Invitation. The total purse, $350,000, and first prize, $63,000. The Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth, Texas, next week on CBS Sports. Don't forget, stay tuned for the MVP award at the end of the game. You're looking at players who are on the bench now getting some rest, who will have to come back for Philadelphia. And how will they do that, Jess?
Well, first of all, they get a good night's sleep tonight, because this is a game you can't worry about. But they had a tough series with Milwaukee. No one goes and plays Milwaukee without coming out of there bruised. And so this is the day off. It's a bad day to take it. What's your day off?
Here's Larry Bird. By the way, they've given him 10 assists. So he has the triple-double of 24 points, 15 rebounds, and 10 assists in the ballgame. Roby again inside. More on Philly?
Well, now what they're going to have to do is they're going to regroup, you know, and start square one the next game. And they're just, you know, they got to win one game here in order to eliminate Boston. So if they're going to win one game, it won't be the first game. But they need to win a second or sixth game or whatever.
But they're not going to do anything different except try to execute and shoot a little bit better. Shoot a little better than this extent this half.
Well, execution will cause you to shoot that way. But no, they just go back to playing the way they play because it's too late to make major adjustments.
Point-a-minute basketball. Philadelphia 17 points in 17 minutes in this half. 6:24 remaining in the fourth period. Franklin Edwards recovers.
And Philadelphia can't get anything to go in.
No. You know,
maybe they can make a free throw.
Nothing has worked for Philly all game. Boston has made that happen, of course, and nothing's gone wrong for Boston.
I hope that their bus didn't break down or doesn't break down on the way home.
Tires, right? McHale has his third personal foul.
Because those days things like that happen.
Of course, team fouls, personal fouls, all academic and really meaningless at this point, but just for the record. Mercifully, only 6:17 remaining for Philadelphia in game one. I wonder what about Boston's attitude? Now, I know, having talked to you all year, that they don't say, oh, boy, we really got them on the run. What is Boston's attitude after this game going into game two?
Well, what they will do, if I know Bill Pitch, he will take a look at the tape of this game, and what he'll do is pick out the mistakes they made at the beginning of the game and say, now, this is what they're going to do, this is what they're going to try to capitalize on, and these are things we're going to have to do because it's not going to be this way next game. It's not going to be this way at all.
Foul is on Charles Bradley. Loose ball foul, and team over the limit, so they're going to shoot it. And as we mentioned at the top, each club knows the other team's plays. They know their strategy. There is nothing new and nothing surprise. The only adjustments that we will see in this series will be defensive adjustments as the series goes on. That's the only kind of change. So it's really, again, execution.
I remember when I was playing in playoffs one time, Vic, I knew the other team's plays. We knew them pretty well. And the center who used to give me a hard time. I won't call his name, but he gave me a hard time. So he wasn't getting the ball very much. And so I started thinking, I said, why don't you call 24 play? That was his play. I said, you know, you should call that. I mean, after all, don't they remember you? And he says, how do you know I play so well? I said, I know him better than you do.
That's right. Hey, they look at videotapes by the hours. 5:40 remaining. Don't be fooled by this game any more than Philadelphia leading 3-1 last year. Ford misses a two-point attempt, but Roby is there, and he may be called for loose ball. 53, Roby, offensive foul. Larry Bird had a superb day for the Celtics. He averaged 17.2 in the series against Washington, and Danny Ainge is coming in, so we'll get to see Danny. And going out of the ball game now, Gerald Henderson.
And they give him a standing ovation to Gerald Henderson. That's how well he played.
We'll get back to Ainge. Henderson had 8 points in the ball game. Third year from Virginia Commonwealth and really matured. Made his quickness work for him on defense as well as offense, which had been his history coming into this year. And Henderson started 28 games when Tiny Archibald was out with the wrist injury.
That was one of those rebounds. You know, I said 90% of the rebounds are taken below the height of the rim. That was one of the 10%.
Roby inside. Hits the shot. Rick Roby. 112 to 66 with 5:10 remaining in the game. Franklin Edwards. And a Boston foul on Danny Ainge, making Roby's fifth. Here's a new handshake.
That has to be ML Carr. Or that's
Maxwell. Yeah, the spider's shaking, right. Mitchell get him. He'll crack the whip this week.
He'll be the most hated man in Boston within the Celtics family there, because he's going to make him work to get the next game.
No one ever said that Bill Fitch was the most popular coach with his players. Last man to say that will be Fitch. He knows he's not, but look at the result. Roby into McHale. McHale into the basket. 16 for McHale. Let's review the scoring. Parrish and Bird with 24. They're finished for the day. Roby 19. McHale 16. Carr 10. Bannon with a nice play inside for Philadelphia. You look at the clock. Andrew Toney with 15. Cheeks and Irving with 12. Puritan with 10. Caldwell Jones and Bobby Jones did not score in this ball game. I don't know how often you'll see that again. Ford into McHale. Chris. $116-70. Biggest lead was 48 points.
The biggest lead was 48.
So we have a foul on the Celtics. There you look. Bill Fitch in Boston. Not bad, friends. 63, 62, and 61.
He's going down. He better be careful. That's a bad trend.
No, he's going up. 61. I'm sorry. I read it the way you did. They're looking for Eric Bernstein to come in the game. That's what they want. Eric Bernstein, who's sitting next to Bill Fitch on the bench. And you know, in fact, Bernstein and Fitch have smiles on their face. You know we'll see Eric. Ainge the rebound. There's Eric Bernstein. Look. He's going to wait for the right time. You know, he wants a great appearance for him. You got to time these things right.
Yeah, you got to milk the crowd. That's what I mean.
Ainge for three. We understand everyone is dry and comfortable inside, but outside it's raining and hailing. All right, this is what they want. And he's contributed as well this year, which we'll tell you about.
And that's like red lighting a cigar.
Yep.
He
That's
takes
right.
it over.
All right, here comes Eric Bernstein in the ball game. Eric Bernstein is a very popular player. By the way, McHale is going out, as you see, with 16. But Eric Bernstein is very popular with his teammates. He went to USF. He played in 43 games, but the big shining moment for him came against Houston when everyone fouled out, including Parrish, and he scored 6 points in 9 minutes and won it with a 3-point play. That was his big moment. Throwing the ball away off of Bradley's hand. And that game without Larry Bird. This is one time that injuries for the Celtics this year, when they lost Bird and Archibald and then came back with them off the bench, really boosted the ball club. They got the bench to play a lot more. Helped everyone.
Well, they got a chance to really find out under pressure what they really had.
Puritan hits the jump shot. Boston will have the edge in everything, I think, in this ball game. Princeton, he played with Bill Fitch in Cleveland. Played under him in Cleveland. Fitch knew what he could get from his 12th man. Danny Ainge pops outside, gets his own rebound. Blocked, another shot, and the rebound by Clint Richardson. We'll give you a rundown on Danny Ainge in case many of you have not seen him much since he's been coming in. Good play by Clint Richardson. Danny Ainge was activated by the Celtics December 9th. He was the 31st player picked last year, and of course has decided to play with the Toronto Blue Jays, gave up baseball, and after a bit of a controversy came to the Celtics. Had a team-high 7 steals against the Knicks in March. 2:13 to go. Bradley using his muscle going to the hoop. Puritan coming out. Well, the Sixers, plenty of rest in this ball game. The starters. First quarter, you know, is only 30-24 Boston. Last 2 minutes of the ball game, and you're going to see Boom Boom Mancini pack the leather against Art Frias.
The whole fight in its entirety.
And Eric Bernstein is on the board to the delight of the packed house, and not many of them are left. They're going to enjoy their Mother's Day dinner. Mix draws offensive foul.
Now here's Eric Bernstein, how he gets that jump shot. Typical USF shooter.
Timeout, 1:36 remaining.
And Dick, this is a chance that you and I can say Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there.
Canon presents the new AE1 program. Watch Tracy Austin put Canon's new camera to the test. It's more camera, more versatile. For the pro photographer.
It's even more advanced.
And for tennis pro Tracy Austin.
It's even simpler to use. Here, catch. The new program mode makes it so easy. I'm always ready to shoot like a pro.
The new AE1 program, so advanced, it's simple. And more of both.
Canon, the photographic consultant to the National Basketball Association.
Top this antics.
Boom! Got a pair of Monroes on sale.
Monroe shock absorbers?
On sale? Monroe's Top Shocks. Radialmatic and Monroe Magnum 60s. Buy one, get the second half price.
That's 50% off the second shock.
You can't top a Monroe deal. What do you say?
Deal me!
2 Radialmatic, 2 Monroe Magnum 60s.
Hurry while supplies last.
Like a lot of people, I'm taking better care of my body. Better care of my skin, too. With Skin Bracer Aftershave. Shaving is rough, so I use Skin Bracer. It cools and smooths skin. Tightens pores. That's the tingle. Smells great, too. But Skin Bracer's not cologne. It's skin care that feels good. That's why more men are saying, thanks. I needed that.
Skin Bracer, now in Spice, too. Takes care of men who take care of their skin. Skin Bracer Aftershave. Coming up in 2 weeks on CBS Sports Saturday, Andy Gannigan provides the Puncher's Challenge. Alexis Arguello brings the championship tradition, the WBC Lightweight Championship.
Arguello will be looking for his 18th consecutive championship victory with this fight, and Gannigan making his first bid for a championship title next week, or in 2 weeks, I'm sorry, 2 weeks, on CBS Sports Saturday. And don't forget, you're going to see Mancini and Frias in their one-round sock'em knockout between games. An update from Brent Musburger on Sugar Ray Leonard's problems. And that is a sobering story indeed for one of the great champions in boxing and one of the fine gentlemen in any sport.
And that's true. In the second game, you got San Antonio and the Lakers. And I want to tell you something. That will be a physical game. because both those teams are strong, tough athletes. And
Richardson turned the ball over. Do you think, how do you dope that series going in? Now, San Antonio can't cause problems for the Lakers, but the Lakers may be playing the best ball of anyone in the playoffs.
Well, San Antonio, I think, surprised everyone in the number of games it took them to eliminate Seattle. Because I think that most people would have favored
Charles Bradley. He said he was a crowd pleaser.
And a coach pleaser, too, with that. But San Antonio is a little better than people think they are. And they, I think they won a season series from L.A.
All right, Philadelphia had a 6-2 lead very early in our game. Celtics outscored them 10-1, moved out to a 12-7 lead, and never looked back.
This is driving machine country, and this is Dodge 400. The cockpit says personal luxury, the driving pure excitement. Front-wheel drive, an extraordinary mileage, 2-door and 4-door, and a new Dodge 400 convertible. And now only Dodge protects your investment with a 5-year or 50,000-mile plan for engine and powertrain protection, outer body rust-through protection, and free scheduled maintenance.
It's a personal driving machine.
Dodge 400, America's personal driving machine.
When people ask me why I'm such a great bass dealer, I tell them, concentrate on one thing, and you could become the best. Just like Kentucky Fried Chicken. All they do is chicken. Cooked the Colonel's own special way that seals in all that great flavor. Fact is, this bass dealer just loves going for home. So I can get to my favorite flavor.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do it right. Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
A drop of H2O. It's water to you, but to millions of algae and bacteria, it's home, right in your pool, swimming with your kids. How do you stop them? With HTH every day. There's no stronger pool chlorinator. Watch. HTH kills bacteria in seconds. So use this formula, H2O plus HTH, because you don't want anything swimming in your pool except your kids. H2O plus HTH, the formula for clean water.
Miller High Life Most Valuable Player Award goes to 2 players. Robert Parrott, 24 points, 14 rebounds, 7 blocked shots, 2 assists. He had his last 8 shots. And Larry Bird, 24 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists, 4 steals, and a blocked shot. The Miller High Life $1,000 donation will be made to the Special Olympics on behalf of both Larry Bird and Robert Parrott. Edwards inside a mix. Fouled by Danny Ainge with 45 seconds to play. Biggest lead in the ball game, 48 points at 110-62. Executive producer of NBA basketball, Jim Harrington. Game produced by Michael Burke. Our director, Sandy Grossman. And everyone who has helped. Bill Barnes, Joe Vetrano, Mother's Day, Bill Brown, Marty Aronoff, our statistician, Bob Siderman, our audio man, and everyone. We don't always mention all their names, but they're all valuable. As you're going to take a look at all the videotape the cameraman. Happy Mother's Day to all of the family of our crew, including Neil McCaffrey, who's right in front of us.
Is that who that is?
Yes, he's right in front of us, so how to do it. How to do it. Neil, we take care of you, Neil. Philadelphia bench. Here's Neil McCaffrey.
That looks like a camera.
Does every sport. Super Bowl, golf, everywhere. He's on the sidelines now. Philadelphia bench shot 10 for 47, 21%. San Antonio and L.A., game 1. Best of 7 Western final. Spurs, of course, with George Gervin and the Bruise brothers. But don't forget Mike Mitchell, who causes everyone trouble, particularly L.A. And the Los Angeles Lakers with McAdoo doing quite a job coming off the bench. And Norm Nixon in his best year. And Magic Johnson, who's really the heart of that ball club.
And I can tell you, these 4 teams that are left are quality teams.
Yep.
There were no real upsets in any series, so that it pretty much followed form. That these are 2 division winners in the West, and Philadelphia had the 2nd best record in the East. So that all of the quality teams are still here.
Charles Bradley, this is the free throw. The lowest scoring playoff game ever by Philadelphia. 79 points, I believe. But we understand. Final seconds. Leading score for Philadelphia was 15. They're glad this one's coming to an end, believe me. Boston flounces the Philadelphia 76ers in impressive fashion. The Celtics lead 1-0 in the best-of-7 Eastern final. And we're going to see you for games 3 and 4 next Saturday and Sunday from the Spectrum in Philadelphia, where either we will have 1-1 going into that third game, or the Celtics will have a 2-0 edge. And a treat for the crowd today, an awesome show by the Boston Celtics. Coach Bill Fitz trying to get that second straight title.
I will have to admit that I was impressed.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much. Takes a lot, I should say. I was going to say it doesn't take much. It takes a lot. All right, every Boston Celtic scored in the ball game. They killed them 121-81 right now as Boston wins at the Garden. 121-81 to take a 1-0 lead in the series in most decisive fashion. Let's return to Brent Musburger in New